Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video we'll be going through yet another unboxing time-lapse and review from another model kit from the Shining version collection, 01 Shining Rollout. So this will be the 5th blind box of the 6-box collection. So those remaining now is basically either a case of Prime or Ratchet. So it'll be interesting to see who this week's will be. So getting straight into it, so nothing too much to say about the box, we've seen this so many times now. So it's obviously nothing different between the box, all 6 boxes are the same. So just the front and a quick look at the probabilities, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much the box side of things done. So now to have a quick look at what is included, which pretty much hasn't changed from the previous 4 boxes, and then finding out who is actually inside this particular box. Okay, so what was inside? So the usual 2 sealed bags with all the parts. So this one will have the base and a few parts of runners, and this bag will have all the loose parts and things like that. Our usual booklet regarding how to change the battery, and the generic instruction manual with the entire series. So won't go through this again since we've seen this a few times already. I feel it's Prime in this one, but that's my feeling. So let's get rid of this because we're not going to be needing this one anytime soon. Let's find out who's inside. So it's definitely going to be an Autobot, I know that much. I think it's going to be Prime. So we have the yellow base, blue hands and the joints, which based on the colour seems very Optimus centric. And yes, definitely looks very much like Optimus Prime. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll know who next week is then. So there we go. Optimus Prime was in box number 5. So what I'll do now is I'll just organise these pieces a little bit and get these pieces off the runners, and then pretty much go through the build phase. Okay, with the time lapse now finished, here we have the completed Optimus Prime. Was his LED dead on arrival? Possibly. I did notice after I did Megatron the other week, the LED did come on eventually, but it was quite dim. So Prime could be the same case where the LED will actually eventually turn on, but it may already be with a bit of a depleted battery. Anyway, front of Optimus with his iron blaster in hand. So there's Prime from the front. side, the back, the other side, and let's see if we can do a close-up without banging anything. There we go. Very much inspired by his animation style. Obviously his chest is a bit stylized here, but nonetheless that is very much a good representation of cartoon Optimus Prime. What else was included? So we do get this little included matrix accessory. I don't think he can hold it, or maybe he can. I don't think he can. Oh, I think he can. Which is very cool. Here's Energon Axe Blade, which would just probably attach to his wrist as if it was like hand. The Energon Cube accessory, which tends to become stock standard. We obviously had a quick look at the little token card, the manual, the base, the open hands, spare light pipe, these little icon novelties that I always get confused about, and we do have a single extra pointed hand finger as well, similar to what we got with Megatron. So I would just detach the Ion Blaster for the time being. In terms of the articulation, so we've already had a quick look at Prime. Visually, from an articulation perspective, his head will do a full 360. In fact, you can obviously detach it and put it back on. But yes, full 360 there without any issues. The arms will have this little up and down shrug that they can do. Full 360 here, thanks to everything pretty much being ball sockets. The arm will be able to go so far out. But obviously you may unintentionally pop things out, so probably this way without being too stressed out at the joint. Elbow will do a just a bit over 90 degree, just a bit, but pretty much reset back to that. There will be a swivel spin here at the elbow, and the wrists will also do a full 360 in there thanks to being a ball socket. So the arms, definitely a decent array of articulation for a model kit this size. The waist will only do a full 360 there. There is no ab crunch unfortunately, but that's okay for a kit this size. Watch me constantly pop out his arms. In terms of his legs, Prime can do a full split without any problems. Leg will be able to go pretty much out to the front that much, out to the back that much, which isn't too bad. We'll get a we can definitely get the 90 degree bend there at the knee, but it might seem a little bit less just because the front of the leg won't go all the way up at the hip joint. Leg will reset back to the front, and there will be that spin up there at the top of the knee. Why would you want to spin your leg that much? Who knows? As for the ankles, so there will definitely be movement here thanks to the ball socket, but thanks to the side of the leg armor, you will not be spinning this 360 in that socket. Once again, why would you? It sounds really painful. So from an articulation perspective, Prime is pretty much pretty stock standard and solid. But thanks to obviously his general silhouette, he doesn't have a lot of things that get in the way. Unlike certain figures, Jazz and Acid Storm are good examples, where some of their, maybe not so much Jazz, but definitely Acid Storm, had some issues just because of the back of his, not so much shoulders, quasi backpack, was in the way. So that was the articulation side. Now we've already seen Prime with the blaster, so that's pretty much straight into the peg there with no issues. If I was to do a quick replace here, so just attach the hand there and then easily put in the Energon axe like so. And because it is that ball socket there, that can obviously do a nice 360 there at the joint. So overall, Prime has a nice array of accessories that are quite usable, and yeah, I think he does look quite good with the Energon axe there. Will he stand on his own base? Oops, after I bang the camera. Of course he'll stand on his own base. There we go. Prime on his little Blokees action base, no problems whatsoever. Obviously don't do that for too long. He actually could fall down. So there is that. Now, what I would like to have a quick look at is the actual Matrix accessory. So it's nice that on the front they have actually done some pre-paint just to obviously do the actual crystalline silhouette there. It's not on the back. But I do like how it has this little holder component. It can be detached with a little bit of force. That's pretty much the Matrix once it's loose. Now I'm quite curious because it does look like Optimus can hold it, so I wouldn't normally do this, but when in Rome. So these hands, these open hands, will have these little tabs on both sides. So I'm going to assume with a bit of a luck. I say luck because it actually is not as easy as it looks. So I'm pretty sure it's not directly on center, but there you go. Optimus using the actual Matrix. So it's obviously not completely accurate because you would want to have a bit of a closed, well, not necessarily closed fist, but your fingers would wrap around the handle a lot more. But for what you're getting, that's definitely not too bad. So it is kind of cool that those open hands actually do have a bit of a use with the Matrix. So that is that. Now, what can I quickly do? Just for sake of discussion, because he was in arm's reach, probably best to put the two leaders together. Optimus on the left, Megatron on the right. I haven't exactly joined the bases. Well, it's a very loose joint right now, and Megatron's actually about to fall off. So, to my point, definitely be careful with some of these. Gravity can get the better of you. So they're probably roughly around the same height. Megatron might be a touch taller, but definitely not too bad. The two iconic leaders, Prime on the left, Megatron on the right. Definitely very cool looking for both. Now I'm going to do a super duper weird thing. Having spent all that time putting the Matrix on, wouldn't it be funny if Optimus can recreate a certain look? This will be interesting because I've actually never done this before, but makes reason that it should be completely viable. So I've detached Prime's arm. Here is Megatron. I'm going to detach his arm. And look at that. Now that is an interesting look. I feel like I need to start opening with some of this now, but yeah, there you go. Optimus with the fusion cannon arm from Megatron. So that goes to show some of the compatibility with these sets. Now obviously they're all universal joints, so there was nothing to suggest that wasn't a viable option. I mean, Megatron can do this as well and be like, take Prime's right arm. Doesn't look as cool, but there you go. That actually does look pretty cool. I almost wish I could get like another Megatron just for the sake, get another Prime and Megatron just for the sake of doing that. But there you go. So that is very cool. Anything else to look at? Nah, we've seen everything pretty much. So that's pretty much it. So there you have it. That is the Optimus Prime per his G1 cartoon depiction from the 01 Shining Rollout Shining Version collection. He does look very, very cool. And yes, obviously you'd need a Megatron to do that arm, but I think that does look pretty cool being able to do that. Final thoughts on this Prime. So, as I mentioned not too long ago, because everything is universal within these collections, it's actually nice to see some of that hot swappability between limbs, especially in the case of Prime. Thanks to the consistent ball sockets and everything, the pin connections, etc. There is a decent amount of articulation in these little figures. Not a lot compared to larger figures or more detailed figures, but for what you get, definitely really good for the price point and everything. So I'm quite happy with this, and I'm quite happy with the look. I'm quite happy that I can swap out arms. So overall, Prime has actually been a nice addition to the collection, especially with the both the included Matrix accessory and the Energon blade. So I think overall, Prime is really, really cool, and if you can get him, yeah, it will definitely be a nice little addition to the collection. Now I feel his LED actually is on, it's just not strong enough to come through his head, because I feel like I can see a faint flicker of it in his chest. Mind you, I've got two light sources on, so it's hard to say, but I'll try that after the video just to see. As I said, one of these days I probably do need to figure out how to basically replace the batteries, which does include detaching the front and back panels without damaging them. That's probably the next more difficult thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So how about just attach you, Prime? You don't need to be on your base right now. There you go. Just look semi-stoic there. So that'll bring us to the end of the unboxing of the 5th box from the Shining Version Collection 01. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This does support the channel and I do appreciate it. Feel free to check out Instagram and YouTube community tab just to see what's currently in progress. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I'll catch you in next week's video. And given that there's only one box left, it'll be Ratchet, obviously. So it'll be nice to finally wrap up the 01 collection. And do I have plans to get the 02 collection in the near future? Yes, near future. Go through another collection set first before I grab 01 or 02 Shining collection. Anyway, leave it there. Until the next time. See ya.